I'm Ronke, Giwa on broadcaster for over 12 years now. Author of Lara's Lessons, my debut novel in January 2022. I'm a wife, I'm a mom. Basically just me. Well, how have I been able to handle it, balance everything that I do? Basically, I take things in bite sizes. I seldom get overwhelmed, meaning if I need to take a break, I will take a break. But I love doing a lot of things as well. So I love writing. I love being on air. I love doing all the things I do. I also love to spend a lot of time with my kids because I find that I want to pour a lot of me inside them. Life already pours a lot of things inside of them, so I want a lot of me inside of them. So what I do is I take things in bite sizes. I try not to get overwhelmed with everything or do everything at once. They always say that how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So if I want to be a mom now, I'm going to shut everything else down and be a mom. If I'm at work, thank God for my support system as well. I have a great support system. My husband is great with the kids. I have an amazing nanny. So if I'm at work, I'm focused on work. So I'm usually very focused. So I try to just take things one bite at a time, not do too much at the same time. And if I need to take a break, I do just that. Most difficult part, I think I'll put that into two bits. If you're a mom, you know how difficult it is. You want to be the best, not just for yourself, but because you want your children, especially if you have daughters like me. I want my daughters to see a woman who's great as a mom, but who's also great at what she does, who enjoys her life. Our mom sacrificed a lot for us, and then they ended up being resentful and wanting us to sort of fulfill them. I don't want that. So I want my kids to see that I enjoy myself. So I go to the spa, I do a lot of things, but there's some things that I have to give. So there's sometimes I would really love to be a mom, but I can't, because if I want to be a mom 100%, then I can't do like my career. I can't put as much as I would into my career. So there are times when you have the mom guilt. If you're a mom who works hard, that there are times you feel really guilty. But for me, I try to make up when I'm around, I'm fully around. And then the other part is how your career actually also gets affected. If you're pregnant, for example, if you have to go on maternity leave, for example, by the time you come back, you just feel like the people that were behind you are sort of taking over. So I think it affects a lot of women. So for me, I would say that bias as a mom, that you have for yourself, against yourself, and that you also experience from, your career also taking a bit of a backseat. I would say are two things that I would say. Then having mom guilt, those are the things I would say affect me a lot. As a mom, you want to be everything, and that's the thing with us women. We want to be everything to everyone, a great wife, a great mom, but are you a great you to yourself? So I'm always having to tell myself, it's important you're a great you to yourself, because if you're not a great you to yourself, you constantly get frustrated. You want to do homework, you're angry, you're going to take it out on your kids, they're going to hate homework. And so just being able to just breathe and just take everything one step at a time. It's hard, but hey. Absolutely. I mean, when you work especially in the environment that I work in, I'm also in management. And oftentimes we find that in management, we have more men in management than women. So for me, for example, I think there's just only 2 women in the management meeting of maybe about 11 people. So maybe you have 10 men. And the thing with men is when there's more of them, they understand each other's language. Immediately they just flow. So if you're a woman, it feels like you have to sort of shout, raise your voice, do something extra just to get noticed. So as a woman, sometimes there's a tendency to just want to just disappear in the meeting, and so oftentimes it feels like, don't you have an idea? Don't you have any brilliant ideas? So as a woman, I'm always having to remind myself to speak up and be present. There's a temptation to just, the men are talking, because you don't see them as men, you just see them as your colleagues. But the bias behind it oftentimes is, at the end of the day, if you're not conscious, it will always seem as only the men have something bright to say. So as a woman, especially if you're outnumbered, you cannot afford to be pressing your phone. Sometimes I'm pressing my phone and I realize, hey, look, you're the only woman here. You have to assert yourself. Your voice has to be heard, and it's a conscious thing. It really shouldn't be, but unfortunately, that's the way it is. If you go to management everywhere, you find more men. So that pressure, it's a lot of pressure as a woman. That pressure you put on yourself, and that pressure also from the men there, because oftentimes if you're not careful, they will turn you into the tea lady. Oh, who's going to get tea for us? Who's going to take the notes? Who's going to be the secretary? And it's often you. So you have to have some certain level of asserting yourself to be able to say, just because I'm the only woman here doesn't mean I'm going to take notes or handle the refreshments and all of that. So if you're not present, that's what your role will eventually become. So that pressure, sometimes it's just a lot as a woman. It's really, if I don't have anything to say, I should not. But sometimes I have to think you have to have something to say because you're the only woman here. And if you constantly are the one who doesn't have anything to say, you'll be taking notes, you'll be the one handling refreshments, and really that should not be my role. I'm an equal to everyone here, but as a woman, it's important to assert yourself, and so that pressure is sometimes a lot that I find. Absolutely. So assert yourself more, like, even if you are bringing value to the table, don't just bring it in a way that, oh, you and then that's why I guess women in organizations sometimes feel as if, oh, you are too much, because we have a lot of pressure on ourselves and a lot of pressure on us as well. So assert means, don't just even say it in a way that someone can even steal your idea. Say it in a way that it's my idea and I'm bringing something to the table. I have value and I'm valid, or my place here is valid as well. So asserting means not just saying it, but saying it because so that when they leave here, they realize that even if it's just one woman that's here, her voice was very present at that meeting. First of all, I'm truly honored to have the influence that I have. I don't think I came into this industry to be looked up to per se. I just came into the industry because I love speaking, and also radio found me somewhat. But as I've grown in the industry, I've also found that a lot of women, and it can be due to career, it can be due to have sort of falling off. So it's just, if you look at the OGs in radio in Ibadan, you won't find too many women that have still remained on radio. So it's a privileged position, and so that's why when a lot of the younger OAPs, especially the females, reach out to me, I'm always truly available. And if you need tips, if you need anything, I'm truly available, because I know how difficult it was for me to sort of climb up and stay consistent. I don't think I found the people that mentored me, were lots of men in the industry. The Edmondo Bilos, were the ones that gave me that big break and said, oh, you have a nice voice, get a slot on my show and stuff. So I want to be the woman, because I also want to destroy this women don't support women don't like women, because it's disgusting. It really irritates me in the ear, because there's no young radio presenter that's a lady, except she just hasn't reached out to me. I can count you like 7 that I've still DM'd, that we're always DMing, and I'm always like, I listened to you just now, just in the car. Wow, fantastic, great job. Because I want her to have what I didn't have. And that's one of the reasons why I wrote my book as well, called Lara's Lessons. So basically, I know that a lot of people look up to me. A lot of the younger girls look up to me. They're wondering, okay, and then a lot of them say, oh, you're married, you have children, you're still in this. They're afraid that, when they get married, they will not be, hey, and I'm glad I'm able to destroy that myth that when you get married, you won't be able to do what you love. That's not true. So I'm always happy when I break stereotypical mindset and thought, so that younger ones can feel like I can have it all. Maybe not at the same time, but I can have all that I dream of. I don't have to sacrifice myself. Women always have to be the sacrificial lamb to their marriage, to their children, to everything. But I don't have to sacrifice myself or my dreams because, I'm now married or I have children. Lara's Lessons is a book of life lessons, basically for adolescents. Obviously, when I was writing it, I had adolescent girls in mind, but I've been amazed at how many parents have bought it for their boys, and even they have learned a lot. And I realized that it's a book not just for adolescent girls, for adolescent boys, but life lessons about being your authentic self, life lessons about being kind, life lessons that generally I believe every young person should know before they get to a certain age. There are lots of 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds who are conflicted, who are struggling with things that they ought to have learned in their teens. So people think you're just going to know how to handle money, for example, but there are things I'm doing as a mom with my kids. I'm teaching them certain life lessons so that when they grow up, they don't have to be groping in the dark. So that book really is a book full of life lessons in fictional style that I believe that young people need to know. And I mean, it's been amazing, the feedback, that I've been hearing and getting from young people. And I know that it will help people, to learn about money, learn about, yourself, and just things like that. So basically, when you discover yourself, find yourself, love yourself, you won't even be that bothered about who doesn't like you. Not everyone can like you, not everyone likes me, but I don't care. Focus on people that love me, and that's because I've discovered myself and I love me. So I mean, that's usually my advice for anyone. Find your authentic self, love her, love him, and cut out anyone who doesn't love that. Continue to evolve, pick ideas from different places, evolve, and just be your best self. That's usually my advice.